Hey everybody, Randy Reviews It here. So today we're going to be talking about the Springfield Armory Echelon. So a little while ago, I kind of called out Springfield Armory for the way that they marketed this gun. They let up the media embargo and YouTube was flooded with Echelon reviews and everyone calling this thing the best thing to happen to striker fired guns, and that this is the best striker fired gun out and all those things. So one, it's definitely not the best striker fired gun out. Do I like this gun? This is my initial review. So far it's a pretty decent gun. Feels really good, trigger's solid. So gun's clear. I check everything, but the trigger, let's give you a quick pull. It's good. There's a little take up, not much. You hit a wall, you go through, and there's not that much over travel. It's definitely, I would say, better than the Shadow Systems Elite. Other than, once you shoot like 2,000 rounds through the Shadow Systems, they really start to get nicer. I'll say that. So if you bought a Shadow Systems out of the box and an Echelon out of the box, I think the Echelon has a better trigger. So that's a big hit there. I'm also a huge fan, I know some people aren't, but these U-notch iron sights are amazing. I've had them on the XDM Elites. Love them. Love the U-notch sights. The ergonomics, and this is definitely low bore axis. They did a good job with that. I think the grip has pretty good ergonomics. It's got a nice little thumb rest on that side, so when you're grabbing the gun, you can get good control of it. And I watched James Reeves' review, and where he was like bumping the mag release over here. I'm actually a big fan of the ambi mag release, even though I'm not wrong-handed, because it's almost like European style where I can hit it with my index instead of like the paddle on my P30s or my Walther. One thing I will say though is that wrong-handed side, it's sticky. Like it almost like hangs up. Like I could push this button in and it doesn't immediately come back out. Like it catches on something in there. So there's that. I'm going to do a breakdown of this later on to show you a few things on it. But the first thing that was really interesting with this gun, and I'll cut to a few videos after this of what happened, but the grip panels on these are, at first I was like, oh man, there's like a big bar in here and they slide in. But whenever I was using this, after like a few mags or something like that, this would fall off. And I found out like you just really have to hit it with your purse to get this thing to stay in or whatever's going on. But I had it falling off at the range, and then I just, smacked it on the table and kept shooting it, and it stayed on since. Another disclaimer, I had a screw on my EPS walkout, so I've taken it to the range once, put a few hundred rounds through it, and when I came back, my EPS was wobbly. And then I noticed that the screw had actually sheared off. And I'll cut to that as well after this. So we got two clips coming up after this. One to show the grip falling off. One to show the EPS wobbling. Let's cut to them now. The hell with it. All right, so let's go through with the breakdown of this gun. This gun breaks down kind of interesting. So just like any of the other striker fires, you move it towards the back, kind of. You rotate this lever around. There's nothing in it, by the way, just to show you again yet. But one of the things, here's where it gets interesting. So usually you have to slide it all the way off. With the Echelon right there, you can see the tab. It just comes out. So to show you, there's not a ton of meat that the slide rides on. But that it's pretty typical of most of these striker fired guns, especially with the chassis, that it's just, you know, the 4 points of contact, really. They are metal, so that's good. The rotation is nice to take it apart. I like that. Their trigger system back here looks pretty slick, the way they got things set up. So obviously it pulls on this, and then you pushes that back and lets the striker go, and then the gun goes off. So overall, that's pretty interesting there. Let's see. I'll bust out one of the grip panels to make sure that I have these just to show you. But here's where the system's pretty robust. So you see there's a lot of metal that's going up into the gun to hold this grip panel there. But what I was having is, so this little tab needs to get popped into place. And when I was sliding that, you can kind of see, let's see if we can see in there. There you go. So there's that little tab has to pop in right in about the middle of the frame. So if you don't have that just right, and it doesn't pop in, like I even felt like I was like trying to bend these or anything. It's a really tight fit, so you might want to take like a rubber mallet or a nylon hammer or something and tap this in to make sure it pops so that it goes in all the way, because otherwise while you're shooting, like the video I saw earlier, these will creep out on you. So that's the only thing holding it in. There's nothing down here, even though it looks like they're probably working on a mag well, is my guess, that they haven't released yet or anything like that. But it looks like there's going to be a mag well compatible, because right now nothing really goes in there, and that's wide open as well. So to walk you through the rest of the gun here, we have a guide rod. It's plastic. It's flat wire spring. It's plastic guide rod though. Nothing terribly wrong with that. Walder, my PPQ, uses that. One thing I'll say though is look at kind of, it's wearing pretty hard right there already, which surprised me. I've only got a few hundred rounds through, but like it was like that. It arrived like that. So I don't know if that was a machine mark, if someone botched it, but you know, a few hundred rounds, it's already wearing the finish pretty good in certain areas. You can see inside too, right here where the chamber tilts, it's wearing pretty quick. So I don't think like the finish is all that great on it. But I mean, I'm not a huge like snob with that. Not everything needs to be DLC or anything like that. But yeah, so let's put this back together quick. One of the things you can see is they got this little lip here, so I bet like the compact version, you're going to be able to put this slide on there, and you know, the frame will only come up to here or something along those lines. Kind of like Glocks and SIGs and the OZ9s. But so yeah, you can just take this, press it together right there, slide it back, pop it back in, flip it, rip it, you're ready to go. So that's where we're at with that. It comes with the different grip frames. It also came with a 17 and a 20 round mag, and it came with an extra 20. So there's two pieces here. And I've been hearing a lot of complaints about the 20 round mags. So you have to make sure, from what I've read on the internet, that these stay on the outside of the back of the mag, which is kind of what I saw on the 20 round mag. So far I'm keeping one set up as 17 and one set up as 20, just to see if there's any differences between them. I'm going to be shooting this a lot more, but that's a breakdown. Let's get into the conclusion. All right, everyone, we're back. We're about to wrap this video up. So this is the Springfield Armory Echelon. What do I think so far? So far, I think it's got a good recoil impulse. I haven't really talked about that yet. I thought it shot very soft. I was shooting it neck and neck with my DR920, and I couldn't really tell a difference between the recoil impulse. So the bore axis and whatever they've done, I think this is a nice shooting gun. I like the XDM Elites. Before this too, they just didn't have an optic mount. So the ergonomics are good. The grip texture is pretty good. Trigger's pretty good. The slide serrations, the iron sights are pretty good. I don't think the optic mounting system lives up to the hype that they're giving it. I don't think this gun lives up to the hype that they're giving it. But if someone got this, and let's say they paid $570 or $550, somewhere around there, I wouldn't say that they made a bad purchase. I think this is a decently well-performing gun that feels very good. It's enjoyable to shoot. I think it's reliable. Right around that price tag, though, I'm going to be doing a striker fire tier list because my AR tier list did so well, and I've shot most of the striker fires out there. There's a few that I'm still haven't shot, like the Mossberg one I haven't shot. Looks interesting. But as far as the tier list goes, I think I would still take a Shadow Systems like DR920 over this, especially if you could get like for a reasonable price. So my Shadow Systems, like normally they'd retail, some of them were like retailing at like $800, but I got them on like Gunbroker for like $550 or $600. So if you can get them for that deal, Shadow System over this. If you can't find a Shadow System for that price, this is a pretty good gun. I wish Springfield would have just been a little bit more honest with their marketing. It seemed like they were blowing it like, oh my God, this gun has heat-seeking bullets and, you know, tracks the targets for you and auto reloads and builds its own bullets. Like the marketing was pretty ridiculous with how they were saying like this thing is a game changer. There's nothing on this that's a game changer. Overall, I think it's a well-built gun. It had thought out a lot of things. I think it feels good. It shoots good. And it's not a bad purchase, but I think you could make better ones. And we'll leave it at that. I'm going to make a few videos coming down the road to show what those better purchases might be. But if you got a Springfield Armory Echelon and you're a fan of it, you're enjoying it, stick with it. I think it's an all right gun. All right. Take care. Springfield, if you're watching, you got to work on that marketing yet. I still stand with that one that the marketing is a little out of control on this. But thanks for watching, everyone. If you disagree with me, leave a comment. I'll respond to it as long as it's not just like, hey, you look like Forrest Gump with your shitty haircut sort of thing. It's actually a great haircut. I love it. I got a fade. I got the hair cut up a little bit. But yeah, if you like the video, if you agree with me, definitely leave that comment too, because, you know, sometimes I feel like my opinions might be complete shit, but it seems like lately in the comments, people have reaffirmed my opinion that they felt the same way about a product. But, if you're wrong-handed too, this, like the mag's ready. I just think it's kind of sticky, but if you're wrong-handed, this is a great gun for you. The takedown levers, kind of shitty. You don't get that thumb rest on this side, but you get something. So yeah, all right. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Sorry for ranting at the end there.